Hey guys, it's Got789 here. Welcome back to another video, and today we are at Everglades and we are about to go on an airboat. And I know what, as you can see, the airboat's all lined up. We're going to get front row seats, which I'm excited about, so you can get to come along with me. So yeah, so we're about to board in a minute, so I'll see you on the okay guys, so we're about to go. It's going to go really fast, I think. I told them this would be live.
We're on board Hurricane this afternoon. Hurricane is equipped with twin Cadillac 500 engines with a combined horsepower of 825.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh. Holding on.
Okay. Just a disclaimer, folks, this is a tour of the Everglades, not just an alligator tour. Doesn't mean I'm not going to stop to show you one if we get one when I find one out there. I'm born and raised here in South Florida. Been coming to the Everglades all my life since I was a kid, so I got my tricks to show you as much wildlife as I can. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. So if we get out of this no wake zone, we'll be on our way.
Because I saw them go really fast.
Right out in front where my parents live. They'll work with the
okay, so we're gonna go soon.
pelicans. The pelicans will, hunt the surface.
Oh, it's gone.
The cormorants, they can swim pretty damn deep. They'll go underneath the school of fish to work
did
them
you
up.
see that? That was cool.
Work them down, and they all work together and they get down.
Alright everyone, there's a part where we go fast, so hold on to your hats, hold on to your belongings, because if anything falls overboard, there is no turning back.
Okay, I'm holding on really tight. No. Stopped for a minute. Very nice out here. Okay, we're gonna go fast again. Get ready.
Not to confuse anyone, this is all fresh water. The saltwater, brackish water area of the Everglades is to the southwest of Florida. Now these three islands have a nickname. They're called Vulture Island. It is a popular roosting site for the two species of vulture here in the Everglades. The black vultures and the turkey vultures. So as we take a ride around, we'll see both species on the island.
Oh my god. I just saw something. We're just adjusting it. I'm just adjusting this so I don't have to put it that so close to the water. Can the alligators get? How? Is that one alive, Dad? It's just standing there.
Here we have the black vultures to our left.
That's just the other airboat. We keep going. Okay, we're about to go again.
That's a group of South Florida cities and towns. Here to the left we have our American alligator swimming through the canal.
Haha, guys. So, it's quite hard to hear in this clip because we were like at the front and stuff. But if you didn't hear what the man was saying, it was like, he was a nice man. He was saying that it's basically just a normal American standard alligator. Really, really cool at Everglades. So yeah, pretty cool. There's one there, guys.
So alligators in the dry season they'll create a gator hole. So certain sections of the Everglades get bone dry.
Oh, it's gone. There's one over there.
Gator holes, over time, if the alligators mature, they're going to get expanded and become a cypress dome ecosystem.
There it is.
fish during the dry season, which causes a feeding frenzy like we saw earlier with all the wading birds in the Everglades. The wading birds will come to visit to feed on those fish. The mammals
See that? Okay, so we've done that now, and I really enjoyed it. So next is the gator show thing. So I'll see you in the gator. Okay guys, so we're at the gator show. There they are. Cool. They're really still.
Alright, I guess this is pretty much everybody. Before we get started, I do want to explain a few things about these alligators I use in my gator shows. All the gators you see in this pit are what's known as nuisance alligators, especially used. That means they all came out of somebody's backyard, pond, canal, a swimming pool, came off a golf course, ate the neighbor's dog, something like that. That's funny to you? Excuse me. Some little girl's best friend gets devoured by an alligator. Somehow you found that amusing. You are absolutely sick. Bad respect. I think it's funny too. Not if it's a Labrador or a German Shepherd or an Irish Setter. That is a tragedy. She meant the little punt, pass, and kick dogs that nobody likes. You tell that kid to stop crying, get a real cat. I know there's one Chihuahua owner that wants to stone me to death right now. Just jokes, it's just jokes. Now, if you have a nuisance alligator, a trapper is usually called out, hopefully for you and your pets. He removes the alligator. It doesn't matter if the alligator is 3 feet or 13 feet. If it takes him 5 minutes or 5 weeks, they charge you the same price every time, and that price is nothing. Alligator removal, absolutely free in the state of Florida. Got a raccoon in the attic? Oh, $400. It's an 11-foot alligator in the backyard killing grandma, but don't worry, that's free. Too many grandmas in here? That's the first time that joke bombed in 20 years. Oh my God, this is going to be a long show. I've heard about these. The grandma joke just bombed. Yeah, I know he's going to throw up. Alligator removal is free because the alligator itself is the payment. The trapper gets to keep that alligator, which he takes to a processing plant where they will kill it, and he then gets paid for the valuable meat and hide. That's where you get alligator boots, belts, handbags, wallets, all that kind of stuff. The state of Florida kills about 8,000 nuisance alligators every single year. And usually just because they swam through somebody's backyard canal a few times. The state of Florida is also pretty smart. They save a tremendous amount of money, but more importantly for them, they save liability by not hiring and paying a trapper. Just let them keep and harvest the animal. That way, every time a trapper's arm gets ripped off, there's no workman's compensation to worry about, no disability. They just scratch another name off a list, and they get a new trapper. Now, the lucky ones, alligators are this. I would buy off those trappers, or I trap myself. I am a licensed trapper here in the state of Florida, and yes, that was my mother's dream for me. The day that I was born in Massachusetts. Very much was not. I'm one of the very few, in fact, I'm probably the only committed non-kill trapper in the whole state. Not too many non-kill trappers in the state because, quite frankly, not many people are dumb enough to work 30 to 60 hours a week for free. Especially trying to save an animal that would love to rip your face off that first time that you meet them. Now, when I get a gator, they will generally come here overnight. They then get relocated to Wildlife Sanctuary down in Homestead. And they can never truly go back to the wild. Any nuisance alligator that exceeds 4 feet in length, according to Florida state law, must be kept in captivity or be destroyed. Only 2 options. They tried to relocate these guys in the wild years ago, way back when they were endangered. Back then, if a gator ate your dog, put him 50 miles out in the Everglades. 2 months later, your new puppy would vanish. That same gator found his way home. They locate him a second time to an even more remote location. 4 or 5 months later, you turn around somehow, some way, he's back at the house and won't leave. My sister had a boyfriend like that one time. No, trust me. Him I got rid of. Thanks, guys. Yeah, go ahead, laugh. Make it seem like that didn't really happen. You guys are adorable. Now, what we do in this pit is alligator wrestling, kind of, sort of. There's 3 guys, 1 girl, that actually volunteer the time we have to do these shows. We're not employees in the park, and that is due to liability. Again, it's the same as the trapper. Apparently, all lawyers think alligators are absolutely ferocious. Is that even comfortable? Therefore, the only money we do take in, believe it or not, does come solely to the donation basket. You see down the end, on the 2 days a week that I'm here, the money goes to the alligators, and not directly, because I tried that, and they blow it all on gambling and booze. Now, that's why half of you are in Florida right now. Now we kind of have this fiduciary relationship where I use it to help pay for the food, the vet bills, buying the gators from northern trappers, enclosures for sick and injured animals, equipment to catch these guys. That is what essentially funds the whole rescue. Now the alligator wrestling itself, that's not like wrestling on television. Yes, I actually have to say that. Some people really think there's going to be like headlocks and body slams. Young boys in particular get really disappointed. They think I'm going to run around with a folding chair, smashing alligators in the head. It's not that kind of wrestling. If you came to see the old man versus beast thing, you're in the wrong place. These guys are part of my family in here. I'm not going to kick or punch or hurt the alligator in any way. I'm not going to run around poking, jabbing at him with a stick like some Everbilly. And they're not going to attack me, sorry. All alligator wrestling really is the old Seminole Indian capture techniques mimicked in a pit like this with a few stunts thrown in. Now, for those of you that may be familiar with a television show I had on Animal Planet called Gator Boys, or any one of the crocodile documentaries that filmed over the years, you may know there's a different reaction between the gators and crocs you may have seen catch on television and the gators you see in this pit. If I get this close to a wild alligator or crocodile, it's going to do one of 2 things. And I guarantee you, neither of which is this. He's going to either, hey, am I boring you with this stuff? Don't smack your face in the water. He's going to either make a huge explosive move to attack me out of self-defense, or more than likely make an equally explosive move but only to escape. Either way, there'll be some massive explosion of energy. Massive explosion of energy. Alright, these guys don't do a whole lot of that stuff. They don't do that because almost every gator in this pit has been here long enough to realize that I am not going to hurt them. And once that kind of settles in, there is no real motivation to make these huge explosive movements they're so famous for. Every time you see a wild alligator or a crocodile, for that matter, making those explosive movements, that's absolutely exhausting for the animal. These guys are ectothermic or cold-blooded, so they really only have a handful of those moves before their bodies begin to build up with lactic acid. Eventually they can barely move. So these guys all know that the worst possible outcome that could ever happen is me sitting on their back over here for like 10 minutes, telling some really bad jokes. It's not worth fighting anymore for the next 15 minutes. And then being totally exhausted for the next hour or 2 while that lactic acid slowly remetabolizes. It's just not worth the trade-off. If there's one thing they're good at, besides ruining my life, it's conserving energy. You look at a good-sized gator like Godzilla, Zeus, Hector the Bone Collector, McLovin, Debo, Darth Gator. These guys can easily go 4 or 5 months with no food at all. This is what they do for a living. It doesn't mean they love me and we're friends, or we take windy walks together at night. Trust me, Zeus doesn't love me. Not like he used to. You know, I still remember a time when you and I would just, we used to sit and we would talk for hours. You know, lately I kind of feel like we don't even communicate. Look, even now, I'm trying to reach out when you withdraw. Listen, I can't fix it if I don't know what's broken. Please say something. I'm giving up on you. Now, you know what the really sad part is? Sad part is I have these conversations with Zeus when nobody else is even there. Now again, they don't like me, they obviously don't really dislike me. is actually a lot like my parents' house around Christmas. Everybody just kind of tolerates me because they feel obligated. Now I do have a certain rotation system I use to try to make sure that each gator only does one show throughout the day. It's not really Godzilla's show, but we were really busy this morning, so I just bribed him to come out of the water to do this show for me. So hopefully he remembers the routine. I'll get you a show there, big man. It's kind of semi-retired. No. That food wasn't free, kid. Come here. Hey, listen. You remember the routine? Oh, sorry, Zeus. Yeah, maybe you should have put a ring on it. I don't want to get out. Now, if you're a Seminole warrior, let's say back in the 1800s, and you were out catching alligators, you were doing that to feed your family. But you always wanted to catch them alive. Alligator meat spoils very quickly in the hot Florida sun. So the first thing they want to do, obviously, tie the jaws shut. A gator this size has over 2,000 pounds of crushing power per square inch in the jaws. That is enough to crush any bone in your body. Go ahead, Sean. Just kidding. Tying the jaws by yourself can be a little challenging. You do need 2 hands to tie a good knot, and something has to hold the mouth closed while you're doing that, or you risk losing your fingers in the process. So the Seminoles came up with a technique they now refer to as bulldogging, holding the jaws closed with your chin and your chest. It'll free your hands up, give you time to take out leather or rope and tie a knot. If you want to take a picture, wait till both arms go out to the side, or using the blood pouring down my throat. Usually where I tell the kids to just stay in school. Okay, take your pictures quickly, please. Take out a rope. Couple of wraps, you tie a knot, and you have yourself a cotton-tied alligator. Now, judging by the complete lack of applause, I'm assuming you people are not really impressed with me or the alligator right now. That's very touching. That's very touching. There's really nothing better for my ego than pity applause when you think about it. If you guys are looking for me after the show, I'll be checking into therapy. I will try to redeem myself in a minute or two. In the meantime, what are you doing? You gotta do one show. What's up with, what is this head movement you're doing? Are you Stevie Wonder or something? What are you doing, son?
Trying to go in the sun. I think he's trying to go in the sun.
If you're trying to bite me, that could really look exciting. Right now, I'm trying to keep my dog in a bathtub. Now, if you're a Seminole warrior, like I said, they started the alligator wrestling shows. They would demonstrate how they would catch it with a hot, nasty alligator. Here we don't do that because obviously they're not scared of me, so they can't do all that crazy stuff. So we're just going to touch on a few different parts of the alligator's anatomy. The eyes of an alligator are very well protected, very deep eye sockets. Anything threatens the eyes, they drop to the bottom of the eye sockets on the way harm. Thick, leathery eyelids come down to help protect them. Lower eyelids like you and I have. It also has that third eyelid called a nictitating membrane. It's a little transparent lens you may see move from front to back and then back to front. That acts to clean dust and debris away from the eyes. It also kind of acts, a pair of goggles for the alligator in the water. Behind the eyes, alligator's ears, little flaps right there. Even with the small ears, they still hear just about as well as you and I on land. They also hear very well under the water. Between the ears, behind the eyes, located right about there, is the alligator's brain. Alligator's brain's about the size of my thumb. They say there's only one animal in the entire world that has a smaller brain to body size ratio. That, of course, is the alligator wrestler. I still don't get that joke. The bony plates you saw over the back, they're called scutes. They are solid bone, osteoderms. They do two things for an alligator. Number one, it is armor plating. It protects them from predators and other alligators during the territorial and mating disputes. They also act like little solar panels. When it's cold, these guys lay out in the sun with this dark black skin. Sun beats down, heats up that skin, and each one of those scutes is covered in little blood vessels. So the blood will heat up, circulate in the body, increasing the energy and metabolism. And you'll notice I said the skin was black and not green. Because almost every sign, almost every t-shirt, almost every cartoon painting, stuffed animal, rubber toy, high school, college mascot you've ever seen of an alligator, it is almost always green. I'm not too smart, but that's not green, that's black. Some of these guys actually kind of look gray because of the dust from the white sand in here, but certainly not green. Now, what separates alligator wrestling from alligator capturing, of course, dangerous stunts, doing a couple of foolish things like we'll do right now. First trick is called the Florida Smile, which is simply opening the alligator's mouth if he let it. The drugs are wearing off. I don't know what to do. You did not be on drugs. Say no to drugs, kids. Say no to drugs. Come on, you gotta do one show. Listen. Hey, I wasn't gonna tell you this. I have a whole plate of Girl Scout cookies with your name on it. Okay? And I make them with the real Girl Scouts in them. Oh, please. Don't feel bad for those kids. They came to my house peddling shortbread cookies. They deserved it. I knew there were Thin Mints in the trunk. I think we can all agree there should only be two kinds of Girl Scout cookies. Thin Mints and Samoas. That's it. Take those tag-alongs and do-si-do you in on the driveway, kid. And listen, that box of Thin Mints is still mismarked. This is not a joke, by the way. There's a misprint in that box. I've been writing letters and emails for like 20 years. I'm dead serious. Next time you get a box of Thin Mints, read it carefully. It says something ridiculous like 8 servings. On what planet? There are 2 servings, tops. I think they give you one sleeve and the other. That's in case you're on a hunger strike and you have to share, because if you're home alone and that box is in the freezer, who are you kidding? That whole box is one serving. Try this again. Again, he's got 40 teeth on top, 40 teeth on the bottom. If you look at the back of his throat, it appears he has little to no throat opening. He's got an oversized palatal valve for iguanas, which allows him to go underwater, capture food without drowning. He would usually then surface above the water to swallow that food. He likes to make it look dangerous. He's a bit of a showman. Hey, you do realize without me you'd be a suitcase, right? Listen, we're pretty much over 2 in applause right now. This is not represent our best work. Yes. Nothing better than pity applause. If you're looking for us after the show, we'll both be in therapy. Is this thing even on? Check 1, 2. I was like Dave Chappelle all day. You guys just roll into town like a state funeral. I mean, you're probably a laughing on the inside kind of crowd. That's okay. I'll do this last trick and I'll let you guys go back to sleep. I make myself laugh if nobody else. Last trick's called face off because if by chance I do mess up. Yeah. And listen, this will also going to show you exactly what a bachelor's degree in psychology is now worth. From the University of Massachusetts, anyway. My parents wasted a lot of money on college. They don't really appreciate the fact that I make bad jokes about it in an alligator pit. I'm 54 years old. My dad's still telling me to give him his money back. Trust me, that would never happen. Last trick, no hero stuff. Sometimes this smells amazing. Hey, I found my keys. That's another aspect. That's the alligator. That's part of the show for me. Probably for Godzilla too. Ooh, I like the way you walk, bro. Oh. Hey, I know that must be jelly, because jam don't shape like that. It's amazing how fast they move, isn't it? See, now you can like fully appreciate why you have to run zigzag. Yeah, because otherwise they would never catch you. They started that whole thing. You ever heard of that? Just an alligator runs zigzag? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. That's not your fault if you've been telling your family and friends that, because they've been pushing that on students and tourists down here for like 50 years. Don't run zigzag, just run. Listen, if you're going to do anything, you trick the kids and you walk away with dignity. Hey, not your own kids, if you know. But if it comes down to it, come on, man. They are smaller and faster than we are. They got a much better chance. This kid is so hopped up on Mountain Dew and Skittles right now. That gator has no chance. That kid will be doing that reverse matrix flip where he's running upside down. The gator's like, oh crap, he's on Skittles. Nobody got time for that. All right, guys, with that, that is the end of the show. Again, anything put in the basket down there that's going to help save more of these beautiful alligators, just like Godzilla. Also, if you want to help out the rescue, grab one of the contact cards and either end. You can check out the YouTube channel. I was going to close the rescue this year, but I'm an idiot, so let somebody talk me to doing YouTube for the next year and see how that works out. That'd be great help. Check that out. Thank you guys so much for coming out. God bless.
Oh my god, 789?